Texas in Color, special commentary, hijacked maps and held back relief, Texas at a crossroads, host Ronald Gordon.
This is Texas in Color, where we bring truth to the table and call out what others won't. Today, we need to sound the alarm. Former President Donald Trump has openly admitted he's using Texas to gain 5 congressional seats in 2026. And Governor Greg Abbott? He's not resisting. He's enabling it. Governor Abbott has added mid-census redistricting to the special legislative session, a move that is not only unprecedented, but unprincipled. Normally, redistricting happens once every 10 years after the census. But this isn't about normal. This isn't about representation. This is about manipulation. And here's what's worse. Texans are hurting. The Hill Country floods devastated communities, homes lost, businesses wiped out, families displaced. But instead of rushing to provide aid or scheduling emergency relief hearings, the governor and Republican leadership have made redistricting their priority. They held 7 redistricting hearings before even acknowledging the storm victims. Let that sink in. This is a deliberate choice, a blatant signal that political control matters more to them than the lives and voices of everyday Texans. Let's talk about those hearings. At the first session, Republicans structured the process so that only 40 out of 170 people could testify against their redistricting plan. That's over 130 Texans silenced. People who took off work, drove hours, and waited patiently to speak. The people who actually live in the communities these maps affect. But not everyone turned away. Texas Democrats stayed. They didn't walk out. They listened. They honored the commitment of those who showed up because that's what public servants are supposed to do. Let's be crystal clear. This is not about protecting democracy. It's about protecting Donald Trump while his approval numbers collapse and his legal troubles multiply. It's about insulating his political power at the expense of your neighborhood, your vote, your future. What we are witnessing is an assault not just on districts or maps, but on working-class Texans, especially communities of color. It's an attempt to rewrite the rules mid-game, tipping the scales for one man and one party. This moment demands that we pay attention and act. If you're listening right now, you have a role to play. Call your legislators, testify, organize, vote. Because once they draw you out of your district, once they silence your community, the consequences won't just last 4 years. They'll last generations. This is Texas in color. And we will not be quiet. We will not be erased. And we will not let Texas be used as a pawn in Donald Trump's comeback plan. This is my first time seeing a snake in a wheelchair. Stay woke, stay ready, and most of all, stay involved.
Good day, everybody. I'm Ronald Gordon with Texas in Color. And man, I'm telling you, things are just getting a little bit crazy out there, I would say, with the special session and redistricting. And you heard the first piece already. So what we're going to do is break things down to you. How did we get here? Because a lot of people want to know, how did we get here? You know, which is a good question. But first, let's start off about how a special session is done and who calls it. Okay? All right. The governor calls a special session. What he does is after the session they call another special session to talk about things they want to, I'm going to say the word adjust or fix, whatever you want to call it. I would say fix. This special session was really for the flood victims. Really, that's what it was for. And they're going to have that figure out what can we do? How can we get funds to the people up there? It was legit, you know. And then Mr. Orange Man himself turned around and asked Greg Abbott to have a special session. I don't know those are the exact words, but work with me. To turn around and hack up and redistrict some plans because he's going to need 6 more people in Congress to make sure he'll be able to do what he wants to do. Because, you know, the midterm is coming up. So, as Greg Abbott did, yes, sir. I didn't mean to sound so southern like that, but that's the truth. You know, they need to give him some toilet paper because him and Ted Cruz always got that brown mark on their nose to wipe off after kissing somebody's butt. So what he did, he turned around and called a special session, then enter redistricting in on that. Oh boy, that's when things went array and crazy. The map they came up with was something else. And you've seen that previously that we showed. But it doesn't make any sense for this to happen. So basically, the Democrats jumped up and left Texas. So when that happened, Abbott went berserk. He went crazy, saying, you can't do this, you can't do that. We need you. They only need him for one thing, and that's to have their butts in their seats so they can have a roll count so they could do it. Now, what it is, it's a quorum. You got to have, was it 2/3 in there, if I'm right? You got to have a quorum in there. And that is the reason why he went crazy, because they went out of town. They turned around and they make them fugitives, like they committed a crime. But if you read the Constitution, it has nothing to say about committing a crime in there. It's being absent. So they're making it something that is really not, to put that fear and phobia into people. Oh my God, they committed a crime. No. And why they want to bring the FBI in, I don't know, because it's not a federal crime. It's a state crime. So let's go back to 2021, if I'm right, is when they first did it. Let me see if I pull it up right here. In 2021, they departed, the Democrats departed, and on July 13th through August 6th, Democrats in D.C. lobbied Congress for federal voting rights protection, like the John Lewis Act. Governor Abbott called them absent members to return. Called the House to issue and authorize civic arrest warrant for missing members. This was in 2021. On August 10th, the Texas Supreme Court ruling, the Texas Supreme Court rules that the House can arrest members and forcibly return them to the chambers. Force. Could arrest them in force. All right? You get where I'm coming from? The House Sergeant of Arms and Texas public safety troopers served warrants at all members' offices and homes. Some Democrats trickled in. Others remained out of state. This was between August 11th and August 19th of 2021. On August 19th, quorum restored. Enough Democrats returned to bring the attention to 99 present, 1 absent quorum, which they went on and voted for. And you know what happened? That's when they passed Senate Bill 1. Okay? That's when they passed it. So somebody's question is, so how many Texas Democrats is it out there, and how many Republicans are out there? You know, they want to know. And actually, to date right now, in the Senate, there are 20 Republicans and 11 Democrats. In the Texas House of Representatives, there are 88 Republicans and 62 Democrats. Okay? So the bottom line is this. They have to have the Democrats there so they can do a quorum so they go ahead and proceed. Now, let me mind you this. Let me mind you this right now. It's not all kibbles and bits out there. They are struggling to get things done. You know, they even have some Republicans thinking about this. You know, but they too chicken to vote against them anyway. Regardless, you could think out loud all you want. Once you're scared, you're scared. So they need them back, and they issued everything out there but the kitchen sink. And somebody said, if you come back, we're going to go after you. So this is what's going to happen now. It's going to be debate going on between the media and everybody else trying to figure out what is going on. So let's get real, everybody. Let's get real. Republicans have been running the state of Texas for 3 decades. And they always talk about what they need. The Democrats doing this, the Democrats doing that. That's BS. You've been in charge all this time and you couldn't even pass a border law down there. You know, let's be real about it. You're in charge, right? You're in charge, right? I'm going to say it again. Your butt is in charge, but yet you can't pass a damn thing. But you want to blame the Democrats on everything that's going on. Fear, phobia, and greed. That's what you're all about. You put that fear in people's face. You put it out there. This is what's going on, but yet you're narrow behind being in charge for 3 decades. You're not saying nothing about that, are you? See, the problem is, as long as you have everybody that fear you and fear what you're saying, 2 things are going to happen. They're going to vote your way or scared to go out and vote. Hey, that's just the bottom line. And I say it again, I keep on saying it. We're talking about the President of the United States who has 6 felons. Now, he talked about law, he talked about immigrants, he talked about all that. Abbott is in bed with him. So, he got 6 felons and married to an immigrant. Are y'all scared to say that? Say it. He once said, if I tell a lie over and over again, they start believing. Well, let's start telling the truth over and over again. You a felon married to an immigrant. The vice president is married to an immigrant. You know, so come on now. Let's call it what it is. You know, and one thing that we could do to fix this problem is not the minorities who could fix this. It's the white people in Texas that could fix this. You scared if you say the right thing or vote the right way, that it take away your entitlement. It take away all the things that you've been used to all the time. You know what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. Your grandkids going to grow up and say, what the hell were you thinking of, Grandpa and Grandma? Look at the condition this country is in right now. All because of you didn't vote your conscience. Damn. These people make my blood boil. It's in black and white. It's right in front of you. But this is what they're doing. You should see it. They're sowing doubt. Doubt. Remember what I said, doubt. They want you to doubt anything that's been fine for the past 150 years. It's been working. Then they sow this little seed in called doubt and get you to think, what if this happened? What if that happened? And they blatantly disrespect the law. And they want to blame it on the Democrats. No. If you've been in charge all this time, you can't blame nobody but yourself. But that's the key right there. That is the key. They do not want to blame themselves on anything. They can't even apologize. They can't even answer a yes or no question. Because it's all about them want to be king. And, you know, a lot of kings don't be around that long. So remember that. I'm saying look at all the kings in the past. What happened to them? Overthrown. So, Texas, I'm just telling you right now. Black, white, Hispanic, Asian. It doesn't matter. Vote your conscience. Because you're not voting for today. You're voting on the future. And what happens in this special session, if it passes, what happens right there, it's not going to go away in 4 years. It's going to take time to move on. And we don't have the time for this. We do not have the time. I always say, everybody, vote your conscience. Look at everything real good. Find the right candidate to back. And the most of all, if this redistricting becomes law, especially in Harris County. Our number one job is to vote a Democrat in each one of the districts that they split up to prove to them it didn't work. And if that happens, Democrats will gain the power back in Congress. Think about that. Think about that. So if that happens, so we're looking at you to vote. Get out and vote. Because your ancestors probably pissed off at you right now. All because you're not voting. They fought and they died for you to have the right to vote. And some of you folks out there saying, well, I'm not going to vote. It doesn't mean nothing to me. Boy, you lost your everlasting mind. That's the reason why we're in the predicament that we're in right now. Because something's going along in your head that you feel like, my vote don't count. And it does. It does count. Tell you a little short story. I stayed in Boerne, Texas, and upset with the piece, whatever it was there. And this young lady turned around and was blatantly doing things that was wrong. So I ran a little small newspaper there just to get the word out, see what would happen. Well, election time came around, and that young lady lost the election by 6 votes. So don't tell me you don't have the power. You do. You definitely do. Kirby Mayer, she just won her term of election by what, 1 or 2 votes? So your vote does matter. So don't take it light. All right, this is I'm going to say Ron G, but this is Ronald Gordon with Texas in Color. We have more coming your way as things develop and evolve. We'll definitely stay on top of it. I want to give a shout out to Tammy Lambert for keeping me on my toes and let me know what's going on. Thank you very much, Tammy. And everybody out there who's been listening and doing things. Oh, before I leave, make sure if you're running for candidate, we got slots open up to you to be on the show for interviews. So make sure you do that. And also, in order to keep this show going, please donate to Texas in Color, our Cash App, Texas in Color. Please do that. And in the near future, our website will be out and going, hopefully by the end of this month. It'll be texasincolor.com. For Ronald Gordon, Texas in Color, y'all have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on Texas in Color, where we bring you the voices and stories shaping our state. Support our mission to keep Texas informed and empowered by donating today by Cash App, Texas in Color.